Well, another Monday morning here in Auburndale. And take a look at this, folks. Another pathetic Orion 7 Next Gen from Naples, 1862. Listen to this. Yep, that's your typical nice maintenance. Listen. I'm telling you, that bus is barely on its last leg. We have a XN40 coming up. I wonder if it's going to be dropping off passengers, because here's an eastbound bus going to Great Neck at Francis Lewis and Northern right now. I know for a fact you are allowed to take the bus eastbound going local. And here comes one of the newer fleets from Casey's Tago Q12 bus going to Little Neck right now. Yeah, let's see, because they have the window open, and that's very odd. Why is the window open? It's 45 degrees right now. Maybe it's because passenger complained they got overheated. The driver must have put the heat on or something. I don't know. But let's see how this ends up, right? I want to see if that one sounds quiet, because that Next Gen, remember, it sounded awful. It sounded terrible. Yeah, now I can hear it. Here it is right there, folks. It's 1905 XN40. Once again, eastbound bus going to Great Neck. That bus was on its way to Flushing. So, remember this, if I were going to Penn Station, let's say from here later on, and I had to go to the city, I would just go to the Auburndale train station. I wouldn't even want to deal with the 7, because remember, I get the disability ticket. So for me, it cost me $5 because I'm still in the same fare zone as Jamaica. So I wouldn't want to deal with Naples unless I had to. I would take Naples. I was going to Great Neck right now, seeing my doctor, which thankfully I saw him on Friday. All right, let's see how this ends up. Here we go. And again, this bus always shows up late. Always does. What else is new? Thankfully, that bus wasn't making a noise. But I'm telling you again, that Next Gen didn't look so good. By the way, I just want to show you how the middle of Queens is treated. Look at this. There's graffiti right here. On this donation box. Yeah, more graffiti. Yeah, someone's just vandalizing this box. I mean, how are they allowed to get away with this? Thankfully, where I film with the pink wall here in Auburndale, thankfully, you know, it's not a problem. But you think Hicksville is bad? Try coming out to Auburndale, because that's the proof right there that this neighborhood's really taking a turn for the worse. And it's a shame that, again, you have Osdom, you have the school, you have the train station. I mean, it makes the area look like a joke. It really does. What with that graffiti just now? So I don't know where this bus is turning. I'm trying to cross, because remember, I work in Osdom, so I have to get in the building, and it's getting windy, and I have to clock in soon because I just got here. And I wanted to show you that, because literally right when I just came home from 7-Eleven, well, I just got here from my house. I got to 7-Eleven first. And now here I am. There's more to come. I'm going to be filming later on this afternoon. We're going to talk about some important stuff on this channel that needs to be addressed. Of course, the weather is fine. Even though it's windy, I'm still willing to do the Francis Lewis Blvd construction update. So we're going to do the update on 39th Avenue. Stay tuned for more. This will wrap up the first part. Official end time, 11:02 a.m. Alright, so this is your construction update for Monday, March 11th, 2019. Once again, we are at the scene of the crime, or the scene of the site. 39th Avenue and Francis Lewis Blvd, where numerous problems have happened in the past month, where the Q76 bus has been delayed due to the incident of the construction. They kept the raised plow sign. And I quickly want to mention, I saw a sign that says, "Help, I'm autistic and unemployed. I need help selling stuff on eBay." Well, maybe some people might see it, but I have to get stuff on eBay for my personal use, and I have to give you all an update by 38th Avenue. This is where the worst of the construction is. So as you see here, they finally covered the big gape around here. They finally filled it up. And remember, this is Con Edison. They were permitted to have this. It's a squirrel climbing on top. Thought that was a cat. There's a squirrel. See? There's a little squirrel. He knows spring is coming in a week, because Vernal Equinox on the 20th next week, which is Wednesday. So, I mean, it does feel like spring out here in a way, but they have the barriers. They have another cone up there by 38th Avenue. And yeah, I think there's more down there. This is what I haven't realized in the month, is that I have more time to film today, so I can go a little bit more in depth. What is that? Why are they putting cardboard on the trees? And then down there's a house in construction. As you see here, there's more construction down there. You have more construction by 201st Street, which is again the same street that Osnum's on, but this is a different part of 201st Street, because remember, you have the Port Washington branch of the Long Island Railroad that separates it off. So there's no grade crossing, which again, that's the right move. You don't need a grade crossing, especially how, again, you have 39th Avenue. I'll try to go around this car. Yeah, and they repaved this, but let's go across the street for a second. Yeah, here comes Dodge. We better hurry up. So we're going to go across the street by Pizzarama, and you see here, they still have the other gates here, so I don't know what that's about. And hang on, we actually have a construction company here, CAC Industries. Sidewalk closed. Because I remember this sidewalk was closed. It was closed. I mean, they have the barriers, but you have to walk around just to go onto that side. And thankfully that part over there, if we zoom in, it's fine over there. Oh, folks, look at this. More graffiti. Yep, because again, this is Queens. They don't tolerate that. They don't care. And what's this? What's this? This is a rim from a Toyota. What's this doing on Francis Lewis Blvd? I don't know what that's doing there. By the way, I just saw the Q16 bus coming around. I'm actually on my way to get the Q31, because right now it is 1:12, and I got out of work early because there's a situation where the residents on the floors, they're confined due to a virus. They're not allowed to leave because, decontamination reasons. By the way, I'm noticing a lot more graffiti around here. The graffiti used to never be here, but this is my old neighborhood. I mean, Auburndale deserves better. Take a look at this. Graffiti! Right by the firehouse! I'm telling you, this is starting to become like Nassau County, like Pine Power LI says. And there's more graffiti up there. There's more of it. I bet when I get to 27th Avenue where McDonald's is, I bet there's going to be a lot more graffiti. So this press conference has just become more of an exclusive that you don't see anywhere else from the media. Light pole vandalized. I'd be an animal to vandalize this. Complete animal. I bet the school kids, I bet they're doing this. They have to be. They don't care. They don't care. And thankfully, I'm not going to report this to 111, because 111's going to say, oh, well, we can't do anything about it. Well, I can sort of let you know how bad this has gotten. I mean, another light pole's been vandalized. I'm not imagining things. This is not the same area that I grew up. All right, Food Universe used to be. Oh, there's a 76. I'm actually coming back into this area later on because my dad's gonna pick me up and take me home because he knows me and him agreed that, you know, if I want to go somewhere, it has to be in the area. So I'm keeping my word to him that I'm not leaving this area. I'm not leaving this section of Queens. I mean, I'm allowed to go to Bay Terrace right now, as far north as there, but I can't go far south as the North Shore Diner, because then that would be a problem. I can't go to Great Neck because, remember, I would love to go to Great Neck. There's a park I like by my doctor's office on Barstow Road. The problem is, it's Naspers, and I can't rely on them. Half-hour wait just for a bus that's supposed to run every 15 minutes. Yeah, more graffiti.
Wait.
Can't make this stuff up. I don't even want to know it's on 35th Avenue.
Wait.
That's how you get to Kekkonen Park from here, but the problem is, the Q27 starts further down, not the Q27, Q31, excuse me, because again, I'm just so annoyed. I mean, look at this. How is there a balloon allowed to be here right now? Alright. I don't need to waste that much recording time, but I'm on my way. I'm going to get the Q31 right now, because again, I need all the walking I can get today, because, you know, it's a nice day. It's 50 out here today. It feels like spring. I want to be outside, you know? I really want to be outside today. So, I'm on my way to get the Q31 right now. So, when we get to Kekkonen Park, I will discuss the important stuff that needs to be discussed for you all today in the proper press conference segment. So stay tuned for more, everyone. This is my favorite view of the Cross Island Parkway. We're by the Bell Boulevard exit at Kekkonen Park, and look at all that northbound traffic moving. And then this is literally like the Sutton State Parkway of Queens. Like, this is literally the Sutton State Parkway. No offense to everybody on the South Shore of Long Island. You can't see it. I mean, this is awful. The traffic shouldn't be this bad during the day. It's only 2 o'clock. I wonder what's going on. Because, you know, maybe I'm paranoid or something, but look, all the cars northbound are flying, and all the cars southbound are barely moving. I really do feel bad for everybody on the Cross Island right now. And it's awful. It really is. So we're going to get to the press conference in just a second. I just wanted to show you this nice view over here of the East River, Bay Terrace. Down there, I can't make it out. You can see the Throgs Neck Bridge in a way, but I'm not too sure. It's not like Vicky Palladino's house. I actually will mention, during the campaign, I did go to her house, and let me tell you, if you were lucky enough to work for her campaign, she invited you to her house, you should have gotten some good pictures over by there, because the Whitestone Bridge, I almost said Verrazano. Whitestone Bridge was actually not that bad. And this is a very, very nice blue sky today. Maybe a few clouds, but not that bad. I couldn't start the press conference without showing you all this. This is the field where I like to be. Take a look, folks. There's Canadian geese right here. Man, they love coming here. They got fooled that the weather got warm, I guess, and they're here, and I'm noticing a lot of duck feces. And I did notice I stepped in some mud earlier. Some water leaking around. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's coming from somewhere near here. I don't know where, but man, nice to see those guys out today. I mean, I'm gonna have to walk on the sidewalk and go near them, but I have to get back to the bathroom. Try to get the mud off my shoes soon. I went into some water, and I think it might have helped. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. It's soaking in, but I need to get some paper towels or toilet paper. Maybe it'll wipe. Oh my God, I'm stepping in mud again. Oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. More mud. More mud. And so I don't like it's the mud. The mud is the enemy today. There's some more water, but like I said, I don't know where it's coming from. It's very odd. So as I said, I'm going to look for a place to set up because I need to start filming soon and starting the press conference. So see if I can find somewhere in just a second. Alright, so we're doing the press conference here at my house because I played it back from when I was originally at Cronin Park. I thought the wind would die down. It did, but I didn't get my points across very clearly. So to start off with everything, that was the stuff that was shot earlier today. I got the main thing accomplished, which was the construction update. Thankfully, the wind didn't get in the way. So, without further ado, one last thing. That was, of course, again, all the outside highlights today. So, that being all said, let's get started with the official introduction. If you're new here, I will properly introduce myself. I am, of course, the Andy. Well, my real name is Andy Pollock, in case you're wondering who I am. Welcome, if this is your first time on this channel. I know I bored you for 15 minutes, but this is some important stuff we're going to get to before we get to new stuff that I need to address today, which we're going to talk about two things. One, we're going to talk about Westbury again. I have an update about that. We're also going to talk about the demise of Hicksville, which is becoming worse. It really is. The demise of Hicksville is just becoming the, exact cesspool of what the middle of the island has become. And then we're going to talk about, Long Island Railroad car shortage situation. That needs to be addressed immediately. So, three things we're going to talk about. But in this segment, I need to address two things. First up, why Harlem got canceled, and second, the new agenda. So we're going to try to keep this under 10 minutes. So first up, why Harlem was canceled. Well, I'll get into it right now. You're going to see a card right now on your right side of the screen explaining why. Because over the weekend, there were 3 incidents. In fact, another card should be coming up after I explain the third incident. So, first 2 incidents. First up was Thursday night. A man got into a shoving fight with somebody at the planned station I was supposed to do at the end of this month. Harlem 125th Street along the 4, 5, and 6 line at Lexington Avenue. Somebody got into a shoving fight, and then another incident where on Friday a man held the doors open. The conductor told him to stop it, and the conductor and the person got into a fight, and with that, I don't want to deal with that. And the third reason you'll see right now on the card, some crazy mentally ill lady decided to pepper spray or do something and sprayed a weird substance in front of people who were in Harlem over the weekend. And it just comes to show that Harlem in general is not a safe area. So for that reason, that's why I went on Periscope on Friday and told everybody it got canceled. So I do apologize to anybody in Harlem that was looking forward to it. I know many people were expecting it, but for my safety, I can't deal with that. And remember, I'm autistic, alright? I have anxiety, I have ADD, I have ADHD. Well, on the spectrum, I have Asperger's, but if not that many people know by now, but I'm pretty sure I've openly have said it. If I have not, then this is the first you're hearing it. But I can't deal with it, alright? It's just overwhelming. I love mass transit. Remember, I'm from a transportation family, but remember, when it comes to situations where real life danger presents itself, I can get very paranoid, and I don't want to deal with that. As far as Metro North summits, I'm looking into doing 2 later on this year. One possibly at the Botanical Garden Station, and another one in the Bronx at Yankees Stadium. Thankfully, I looked into it, and both those stations are open year-round, unlike the Long Island Railroad, where Willets Point is only open seasonal. So, for that, they're definitely candidates for Metro North. If I had 2 other places where I like to go on Metro North, going off topic, would be Mamaroneck, maybe Rye, and possibly trying to think. Right, White Plains. That's where I would like to go. But yeah, it's canceled. I'm so sorry, everybody. I know you were looking forward to seeing a Metro North station as well, along with the 2 and the 3 station. It was going to be a big super pack video from Harlem, but now I can't do it because I don't want to deal with the crime. And especially how I've been told that there's a homeless shelter in the area, so I don't want to deal with that. So that being all said, Harlem is canceled, so what do we do now for the rest of the month? Well, let's recap. First up, this Wednesday, I will make it official. Once again, I'm going to World Trade Center along the E line. And I'll be going to Fulton Street, which, again, has a lot of controversy. We'll get into that on Wednesday. This is not the video to be doing that, but I will make it official. Mass transit advocate Jason Anthony Pinero will be joining me. The reason why he was picked to do this summit along with me is because he is a local guide around Lower Manhattan. He knows the area very well, despite the fact that he lives in Brooklyn. He actually commutes in Lower Manhattan every day. So he was the perfect candidate for that decision. When I determined everybody else, I looked into other people, but I said to myself, you know what? Jason's the best one because, remember, he knows Lower Manhattan very well. He's the author of the State of the Track series, which there's a playlist for that if you do look up his channel, which, again, it's Jason Anthony, which is his YouTube channel. I'll card that right now. So there should be 3 things in the card, because the Pine Power LI video, we'll get to that in the news segment, because that's very important. But yeah, I'm looking forward to having Jason. Should be fun. And there might be some backlash because there is some controversy with him, but I don't care, alright? When I pick the summits, I look into people who, again, are local guides and they know the area very well. Like Jason, for example. He knows World Trade very well. He knows Fulton Street very well. He knows Wall Street very well. He knows South Ferry very well. In fact, if I ever do South Ferry, I know I'm definitely going to invite him to that as well. So, for that, I have to think about what's best for the channel. And Jason might even be considered coming to Canal Street and Bowery. Well, Canal he's more familiar with. Bowery, I would have to discuss that with him. But he knows the Canal Street, and I'll get to that later on in a couple of seconds. So, we're still going to keep the original plan and go into Brooklyn next week. We're going to go to Metropolitan Avenue along the G line and Lumiere Avenue, or whatever it's called. It's called Lumiere, but I have to explain that in the opening for that video next week in Brooklyn. And we'll be going to Fulton Street in Brooklyn. So, 2 different Fulton Streets again. Fulton Street, Manhattan this week, and Fulton Street in Manhattan, in Brooklyn next week. Yeah, so Manhattan and Brooklyn, both Fulton Street, except Fulton Street in Brooklyn is along the G. And the reason why that is because I will be using Atlantic Ticket to get back to Jamaica or Queens Village. So, for that, I have to go to there anyway. I'm not going to go back into Queens and deal with the subway where I can just use a Atlantic Ticket for $5. And trust me, if you live in Queens and you live along a station that can get you to the Atlantic Terminal, Atlantic Ticket's totally worth it. Trust me. If you're only using it for a day, it pays off. It really does. I will tell you that right now. So once again, I will go into the end of the month. So the week of March 25th, I am correct. We're going to be doing Bowery along the J and the Z, which is desperately needing a renovation. Just like how we did the other station by City Hall, which needed a renovation. And I'm going to be doing Canal Street, the main hub in Manhattan. I'm going to be taking the N or the Q line into Manhattan or Brooklyn. It depends on what the schedule is, because if I can get the 235 train to Far Rockaway, I could just take that train if I have to, but I have planned it out. I still want to invite Jason to the next 2 summits, maybe even a lot, because I know right now he mentioned to me that he's on leave from Amazon, so Wonder how that's going to work out. I mean, if we can get Jason on this channel, that would be good, because his expertise is very important and a big contribution to the quality content we put on this channel. So, one quick thing I'll mention, I have a planned trip to go back to Maryland on April 18th. I should be coming back on the 26th. 27th, I'll get into it right now. I am supposed to be scheduled to be on Matt Camper's YouTube channel to do the Williston Park station. We did that station on this channel, so I'll card that as well. So 4 stuff I got to card today. My goodness, because, you know, if I card the Pine Power LI video, what would be the point? That would waste the news segment. So, with that being all said, I think that's going to wrap up this quick press conference thing. As I said, I wanted to do it outside, but remember, the weather did not play out. Alright, when I was at Kekronen Park, it was windy, and I'm very glad I got to go outside, but I said to myself, you know what? It's better to just do it in here. And thankfully, right now, my mom's making dinner. It's after 5:30 right now, so I'm just pulled the time up on my phone. So I'm going to get to the computer and put this video in the editor right now, and then I'm going to go to my OBS, work on the news segment, and we will get started with, again, our 3 headlines. Pine Power LI's observation in Hicksville. Then we're going to go to a report about the School Street grade crossing in Westbury. And then we're going to get to an emergency situation with the Long Island Railroad train car shortage. So today I've decided to do the full desktop capture today, because it'd just be easier to do it in this mode. OBS cooperating, thank you very much. So without further ado, let's get started. So first of all, quickly want to mention, look at this. The tie in Hicksville, not the tie in Hicksville, the tie in Mineola still has not been fixed yet. Hang on. Trying to get to the right picture just for a second. I do apologize. If I can let the video play on, I want to maybe find the picture that way. Yeah, here's the other picture. Yep. I don't even know what that's doing on the track. So that's alarming right there. And then, this is behind Stop and Shop in Carl Place. This is the same location where my ex Laura worked for many years. And if she's watching this, she should be appalled at how disgusting this looks. Especially how this is right on top of the railroad tracks. I mean, this is disgusting. Doesn't this want to make you vomit? Look at this. More graffiti. This is by Westbury. And this is from John's video, by the way. Pine Power LI. So look at this. Bums sleeping in the Hicksville waiting room. What else is new? That doesn't surprise me. Another bum with a shopping cart. He has a radio right there. Another person passed out in the onboard platform. And then, still, to this day, and I talked to somebody, I think this was Flower Power. Yeah, this is Flower Power. If she's watching this, you know who you are on Twitter. This is what I was talking about. See? The help point's still not working. It's still not working. But look at this. This is Wantaw. Wantaw gets a working help point, huh? Yeah, he is Wantaw matters. It's because it's between Merrick and Massapequa Parks. They get the best. So they get a nice canopy. And then, look at this. This is one of the grade crossings in Mineola. A car could literally just get on the track and he could get struck by the train. Thankfully, I'll say this on the record, the Port Washington branch only has maybe 1 or 2 grade crossings. I'm not too sure about Douglaston, but I know for a fact that, look at this. More deteriorating conditions. But I'll just make a quick point. Little Neck does have a grade crossing, and thankfully nothing ever happens there. OSW. How could somebody do that? But then, look at Merrick. Merrick gets a nice new waiting room. Meanwhile, Hicksville doesn't get anything good. Hicksville doesn't get this. And then look at this. There's a bum passed out in Deer Park. You wouldn't see this in Lindenhurst. If this happened in Lindenhurst,
the people would complain, oh, we're not going to accept this. Maybe in Copiague it would be tolerated, or Amityville, but not in Lindenhurst. Only the best for the people in Lindenhurst. Yeah, and beat up car in Hicksville. And then look at this. There's vacancies in Hicksville. People are trying to sell their homes by the train station. If you go south of, oh, this is the TV Matt Camper showed the other day. I'll get Matt Camper's reaction to it, because we'll put the sound up in just a second. But I want to show you the Boulder Creek later on. But my point is, I'll pull up a map, and we'll get to Westbury later on, because I want to get to Hicksville. Here's Hicksville. Here we go. That's Duffy Avenue. So, here's Hicksville, right? This is the part of Hicksville you don't want to be near. But you go south of Old Country Road. Oh, you have Hicksville Senior High School. We have the other schools. You have the rec center on Jerusalem Avenue, right? Right around here. I'm going to pull it up because I remember where it was. Yeah, right here. They wouldn't tolerate that in that part. They wouldn't. No, we're not going to let that happen. No. We won't. Sorry. Too bad. Yeah, this is what I was trying to talk about. The Jerusalem Avenue pool. Brand new 7-Eleven just opened there like a couple months ago, right where I go to the trading post with Matthew to get the games Randy plays. They wouldn't tolerate that. So you know where you have to go to. You have to go between. Well, again, you do have the furniture stores. You go anywhere between here and here, okay, maybe that's different. But if you go anywhere near, let's say, here, where Broadway Commons is, that's where the problem is. That's where the bums are hanging around because they're fleeing Manhattan. They don't want to be in Manhattan. And I've told John this. He's experiencing the homeless problem that New York City is facing, and it's spreading into Long Island. It's spreading into Long Island. Why can't people realize that we are living in a crisis? Literally, I'm sitting in de Blasio's mess right now. I don't want to go out to Long Island. I can't live there. Because, again, in order to live in Long Island, I have to be between Merrick and Massapequa Park. And the rent is just too high. Alright? I can't deal with it. Especially how I don't want to deal with a bad bus service like Nice Bus just to get over to the hospital. And I don't want to worry about waiting for the Q31 bus to not show up. You can't make this stuff up. This is worse than Francis Lewis Blvd. And then look, more of it in the Pine Barrens. This is worse than the Pine Barrens. Lease. Once again, and then look at this. I'll play this part. Let's see if John mentioned this part here.
This casualty, the Boulder Creek Steakhouse. So in this video, I'm going to show you the Boulder Creek Steakhouse, which just closed. I went there with when I went.
Let's fast forward for just a second. Play it from yeah, right around here would be appropriate.
The Sears across the way, that's been closed for a while now. But we have a new economic casualty, and that is the Boulder Creek.
That's Boulder Creek. And guess what, folks? The media hasn't been reporting on it.
Busy, but it is closed.
I looked up everywhere. I looked up News 12. I looked up Newsday. I looked up Files 1 even. Not one mention of this. Not one mention of this.
So, this was the
and here's the
Boulder
sad
Creek
part.
actually.
Next week is March Madness. So the only place you're going to be able to watch the games next week is at Buffalo Wild Wings. Unless maybe they decide to leave town too.
There's no signs on the window saying
So the only way you're going to be able to watch March Madness is going into Bethpage, Farmingdale, or Mineola. Thankfully, Mineola still has a few places by the train station where you can go to a pub or a bar. You can still, you know, watch the games next week when the tournament starts on Thursday next week. This is a disgrace. It really is.
Go around.
My
There's no
goodness.
sign about it being out of business, but it's obviously they're closed. All the lights are off.
Yep, you can tell that's out of business, and there's boxes in there.
Away.
But when I read on Reddit was that they're renovating.
Look around at some of the outside. You know, there's no signs or anything that they're out of business.
I read on
obvious they are.
I forget Pine Power Allies Reddit, but I did it came up when I googled this on Reddit. Pine Power Allies Reddit came up.
And we have another
So
economic casualty here in Hicksville. So,
maybe they're renovating, maybe they're not. I don't know.
Casualty. Despite the fact that this area gets a lot of train service, that it should be very popular.
And then look at this bike. I saw that on Francis Lewis Blvd by Northern. Somebody phoned it in to 311. You know what they did? They got the bike out of there. Because remember, only the best for New York City. Even though Queens has graffiti all over the place.
This is one of the abandoned buildings here in Hicksville.
Oh, and I'm sure the flower shop is still abandoned too. Sure it is. Alright, let's go to Matt's video.
Hello, everyone.
This is from Matt Camper, by the way.
Look at this. I'm going to show you all this. And unfortunately, I don't know if this is, again, I'm not going to, speculate, but this could be the town of White's big property. Technically, again, we're right by the Hicksville double station. Look at this. There's snow on it.
Exactly. Why can't the MTA own that lot? The MTA should have control over it. The town shouldn't be having their say over the parking lots.
And that is...
This is ridiculous.
And you're, by the way, some kind of car debris, which shouldn't be here. That's a...
Yeah, this is the same thing that was in John's video. This was literally taken 5 days before the original video was shot. This picture was in John's video. And what Matt's trying to elaborate here was that we had a snowstorm that was last Sunday night the 3rd into Monday the 4th. And I did see some snow today at Crocodile Park, which looked beautiful, by the way. I'll mention that off camera. But as again, you see here, look at this. I want to try to see if I can get to Matt's reaction to the TV on the road, because it's priceless. I'm thinking of the old MasterCard commercials. Here's how I would dub it. Having Matt Camper react to a TV on the side of 106, 107, priceless. There's nothing else money can buy. For everything else for your ranting needs, go to Matt Camper. Because he does it better than John, in my opinion.
Basically, this area right here, and there might be some more, so I'll show you all. But this is on it.
Exactly. If somebody made a Metro card commercial, not Metro,
It's not.
MasterCard. That's what I'm thinking of.
People are going to walk in the street, and again, I don't suggest it. And there might be a point where I may, again, because I don't want to walk in the street, especially along this big area.
Now I want to show you something else. I'm trying to find it. Trying to get over to the part of Hicksville I know very well that links up Subway from that other walkway where the Broadway Mall links up to. Right by John Street, that's where it is. So as you see here, on the left, that's where I normally go to the Broadway Mall. And on the right, that's how I used to walk to Sears. Exactly. Who is? Especially how, if you want to park your car on the street and not deal with the parking by the train station. Yeah, here comes the part with the TV. Because this is... When I saw this last week, I was saying to myself, who leaves a TV in the middle of 106, 107? Remember, if this happened south of Old Country Road in front of those residential houses, the neighbors would have complained. Because remember, I said this earlier, I have 2 friends who live in Hicksville, south of Old Country. And if this old TV was laying down there, they would not tolerate that. They wouldn't. They would be responsible, and they'd say, why is this TV here? Shouldn't we recycle it?
equal chance.
Exactly.
It's clear.
I'm trying to fast forward to the part where Boulder Creek was. Hang on.
Whoever it is. And shovels. And again, that's not. There's no property owners that I know of in that area. You know, there's no houses along that area between, right after the Apollo Diner and right before Mitchell Field. Mitchell Field. I'm sorry, not Mitchell Field. I mean the houses right before Front Street.
Right, I know that very well. There's no property owner.
So that would be a responsibility of whoever it is that owns the road. So, for example...
Which, again, that's Nassau County Department of Works. They would have to shovel that.
The parking lot's owned by the town of Lloyd Space. That would be the town of Lloyd Space's responsibility to do the...
Unless it's the town of Hempstead, because they own that part of East Meadow.
Whether it's a video,
Again, remember this. If this happened in New York City, this wouldn't be tolerated, alright? Do you know that a property owner could get ticketed for that?
So the Broadway Mall does the right thing.
Yeah, the Broadway Mall does the right thing. Exactly.
They like to make money off it. No. I'm doing this. I'm suggesting that the only reason
Yeah, I don't think Matt brought it up. Unless, again, maybe they're renovating it. I don't know, but, again, we'll have to wait and see. But anyhow, let's move on to our next story, because I think I've gone on too much about this. So let's go to our next story. Next up, we're going to talk about, I want to make sure we're still recording, thank God. So, I'll pull up my Twitter very quickly about this. I want you all to see it after. So let it roll up. So, today, once again, another vehicle struck the grade crossing at, guess where? School Street. The same grade crossing that was involved in the February 26th train crash incident. Now, let's pull up the map, shall we? Here is grand old Westbury, right? The town that should have not went under. So anyhow, let's see this area on Google Maps. So here's a recent view from October of 2018. So we'll try to go back to 2007 and see what it looked like back then. Alright, so this is what it looked like back in 2007. Let's do a little history check. So as you see here, in 2007, this didn't look that bad, right? Here's the grade crossing, fine as it ever is. Fast forward over the years, right? Let's go to 2012. This is when the graffiti started to pop up around this building. Look, another vandalized truck. Yep, I think this is when the problems first started. July 2015. Let's see how bad it got. Well, they thankfully cleaned it up then. July 2018. Look at all this trash. No wonder you have people hitting this grade crossing on purpose. And now, let's go to 2018 in October. Look at this. This vandalism wasn't there. Even back in 2015. Well, let's see 2007. Yeah, in 2007 it wasn't shown that much. Yeah, but in 2015 it was there. But in 2007 it wasn't. Well, that's interesting. My goodness, how time has changed, huh? You can't make this stuff up. This is School Street. You go up this way, that goes right to Union Avenue. I mean, I wonder what's going to happen. Are they just going to close this part off? Well, let's answer that together, shall we? So, here's what happened. Spokesman Aaron Donovan said the railroad reported this gate broken shortly after 11:30 a.m. and mobilized a repair crew immediately. The railroad reported that a passing motor vehicle struck and broke one of the crossing gates. They put a 15-mile-per-hour speed restriction through the area. The crews replaced the gate within 30 minutes and the LIRR restored full train speed shortly after noon. Railroad officials said they are investigating the incident and noted that safety gates are designed to break away when the vehicle was struck by the vehicle. Construction on an effort to sink School Street under the tracks is set to begin in the spring of 2020, following years of concern raised by Westbury business owners and community residents about the busy intersection. However, I'm going to show you this. I can't pronounce his name, but pretty much Rich Barbie, I'll say it that way. So, he reported that a source told him that in light of recent events, the Long Island Railroad's looking into expediting the work and hopefully starting sooner. So I hope so, because honestly, this needs to stop. We don't need another incident screwing up service again. We just don't. And look at this. This is the crossing right here. Alright, so our last story will be about a situation in regards to shortage of train cars with crowded conditions and delays. The accident in February caused 20 cars to be pulled from service. I mean, this is just incredible. Here's what Long Island Railroad President Philip Bing said at a Woodbury event hosted by the Advancement for Commerce Industry back in January. Our fleet is fully utilized. We don't have any spare trains. Every train that we run in the system is the same ones run every day. So you can imagine if there were any issues and had to take them out of service. That's how you not can provide reliable service. Here we go. LIRR says they have a rolling stock at 1,145 cars. The number temporarily dropped to about 1,125 cars. 20 cars had to be pulled because, remember, the 636 train from Ronkonkoma doing to Penn was involved. Another eastbound train was involved as well. So that's why you had 20 cars. They didn't have enough cars to operate them. And then, 2 of the damaged cars from the February 26th incident will not return to the fleet. And then, Philip Bing, back on Friday morning, which was back on March 8th, the Friday morning rush hour was the first since the accident that the LIRR did not operate any short trains. Now, here's the thing. You normally are supposed to have 10 to 12 cars, right? Instead, you're missing at least 4 cars. And that Matt Camper has noticed this too on the Babylon branch. They have to force riders into the short trains. And this also happens at events where you have numerous people trying to get over to the Barclays Center or trying to get over to Madison Square Garden for big events. Or remember, you have the people who are into theater, the people who go to Broadway productions. They're trying to make their shows. So they have to take the train and then they cram up the cars too. And this is so disgusting that they only interview people along the Babylon branch. They don't care that the same overcrowding happens along the main line. So it seems it's starting to spread into the Babylon branch too. Or it has been for a while. Everyone looks tortured. I don't know how this makes any sense. I thought the Babylon branch gets the best service. This doesn't make any sense. Okay, here's what it says. LIRR needs 900 electric cars, 140 Blvd diesel coaches, and 31 diesel locomotives. But remember this, the only electric fleet on the railroad is the M3 car, which was first introduced in 1988, and the M7, which was first introduced in 2003. Think about this. The Long Island Railroad, you think of all the equipment they have. The most recent placement for upgraded equipment took place back in 2003. How is this acceptable? Metro North was able to get the M8 cars. Okay, I just want to see something here because I need you all to read this. Now, the M9s, and I remember this very well, were supposed to be out in June of 2018. Then they pushed it back to December. And now we're not even going to get the M9s at this point until May or even later this year. 8 new cars were damaged in a yard derailment last year before they could be delivered to the LIRR, and Kawasaki Railcar Incorporated, the contractor who was awarded by Patrick Nowakowski before he resigned last year, did not respond to Newsday for a comment. Exactly. They waited way too long. And remember who you can blame. You can blame Patrick Nowakowski. Alright? He had 4 years to do something right. And you know what he did? Ran the Long Island Railroad the old-fashioned way. In a way, I will have to agree with Murray Bowden on that. The culture needs to change. And remember, you can still blame Elisa Pica all you want, but Philip Bang is doing the best he can. You saw it today on how, yes, okay, there were only 5 to 10 minute delays, but they were able to fix the issue with the grade crossing within an hour at Westbury today. So it just proves the point. And remember, I'm part of the rail ridership increase too. You can blame me for that. I'm sorry. I couldn't deal with the Interborough Express bus anymore. But keeping in mind here, you're going to have more people riding the railroad because once East Side Access comes, you need the M9s. We need them. Thankfully, they're going to order more cars according to President Ang, so that's good news. I would hope so. This is insanity. You have 360,000 people who ride the Long Island Railroad daily. You have a fleet size of 1,140 cars. Subtract that to 1,143. Or maybe that was, of course, 1,000. Add those numbers up. 1,165 cars. Subtract that by 18 again. That no, that's 6,067 on that. 167. Okay, now the numbers add up. Think about this. 686 people in each train normally. Up from 329. And once again, remember, yes, the M7s were added in 2002, but they were not in service until 2003 or 2004. You want proof? You want proof? I'll Google it right now. I'll look it up. Look at this. Look at this. Trying to find it. Do apologize, everyone. I can't figure it out at the moment. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. M7 service began on the Long Beach branch on October 30th, 2002. All M7s were delivered by early 2007. Okay. Right, that's why we've been stuck with that fleet for 12 years. Now we'll take a look at the M8. M8 rail car. Now, look who got the M8. Metro North Railroad. Here's what it says. Metro North Railroad first got M8 fleet in March of 2011. This should have been taken care of in 2011 or 2012, in my opinion. It should have. It should have. Unacceptable. Really unacceptable. You can't make this stuff up. And remember, majority of the time you see the M8s going to Connecticut. It's just insanity. 2012. This is when the M8s were first installed. I don't know how the Long Island Railroad couldn't get these cars. Somebody needs to explain me that, because it gives me a headache. So once again, I'm going to elaborate my point. The M9s need to come now. Let's pull it up. I can find it. Here we go. Look how nice these trains look. Look at this. Here we go. Number of construction. They're supposed to have up to almost 500. So think about this. The M3s are going to have to go away eventually. They're going to have to. Because once you have the increased ridership due to East Side access, you need these cars. They have to, I'm sorry for saying this, but in order to welcome in progress for the next decade, we have to set an example right here. 2019 and the rest of this decade only has about 10 months left. Fill a bank. Do your job. We want the M9s by December. I think that's a reasonable thing, and if we don't see these cars by December, mark my words, Philip, 2020, we're coming for you. It's unacceptable that we don't have these cars yet. Very unacceptable. And guess who else is getting the M9s? Metro North Railroad. Why doesn't that surprise me? I've gone on too much. If you have any comments about today's video in general, let me know. It's been out of order, but I had to do what I had to do today. So that being all said, I'm going to wrap up this video. Our regular Queens Village fails, if there are any tomorrow, will be regularly scheduled, followed by the Summit filming on Wednesday with Jason. Thursday, I'm going to have to work on the service changes video and upload it on Fridays, so yep, I'm pretty much done here. Thank you all for watching. Like I always say, until the next time, please take care.